Hello my dear friends, welcome to ED. In today's video, we are going to learn about parents, children and God. So let's see the first question. What do your parents expect of you? What do parents expect? To, to children to be successful, right? The parents expect children to be successful, correct? Now, what do you expect of your parents? Parents should be encouraging and supportive to the children, right? This is what the children expect from their parents, right? Now, have you ever felt your parents are too possessive, controlling and demanding, right? Dominating, like don't go outside, don't eat outside food, don't roam with such kind of friends, right? Why do they do all those things? Why they are so much controlling? Because they may have the fear of children getting into bad deeds and bad habits, correct? Now, so today we will learn and understand about who children are and the role, very important, and the role of parents in upbringing their children. Okay, the unit name is On Children, written by Kahlil Gibran. So before I start, I'll give you a little bit of introduction to this poem because this poem is an excerpt taken from very big work. Okay, now I'll make you understand the background of this unit on children. This poem is an excerpt from the Prophet, which is a very big work written by Kahlil Gibran. Okay, in the starting of this poem, a mother who is carrying a baby in her hand will go and ask a person who is a messenger of God, that is a spiritual teacher. You can call him a saint or a guru, spiritual teacher. Okay, she will go and ask that guru, that spiritual teacher, he is called Al Mustafa, and what that woman who is carrying a baby will ask is about her child. It's really a small baby, a infant baby, and a mother is completely worried about the baby's future, how the child is going to be, what the child is going to do in future, will the child be successful, all such kind of worries. So now we all will see what the spiritual teacher will reply for the question asked by the mother. So are we all ready? So let's start this unit. So the first line, and a woman who held a babe against her bosom said, speak to us on of children. Now what here the first line says is, a woman is carrying a baby and she's holding that baby towards her chest, and she's asking that spiritual teacher, speak to us of children. That baby is so small, she's carrying in her hand the baby, she's carrying in her hand and holding to her bosom, and she's worried of that infant baby, of that baby's future. Now, and he said, here he means the spiritual teacher. Clear? Now he means, now what I told at the starting, a woman who is carrying a baby is coming to a spiritual teacher and asking, speak to us of children. Now, and he said means the spiritual teacher is replying. We'll see what the reply is. It is very beautiful. Okay, at starting it is little bit difficult to understand what he's trying to say, but how the poem goes on line by line, we'll understand completely what the spiritual teacher is trying to say. Okay, now the first line, your children are not your children. The very first line is, your children are not your children. What does this mean? Means the spiritual teacher wants to say that the children born for their parents do not belong to them. Right? Correct, no? That is what the meaning of the first line. Your children are not your children means, I'll repeat. Spiritual teacher wants to say that the children born for their parents do not belong to them. Now the question arises. Then who are their children of? Who are they children of? The children born, who are they children of? Right? The question arises, right? So there is answer in the next line. That is, they are the sons and daughters of life longing for itself. Answer is here. What was the first line? Your children are not your children, the spiritual teacher told. And next he's saying they are the son and daughters of life's longing for itself. Now what does this mean? We got the answer, right? They are sons and daughters of life's longing for itself. Now what is the meaning of life's longing for itself? This is also very simple. Think life as a person. So what will life's dream be? Life's desire and dream of living and continuing to live, not to die. Understand, life will be having longing for itself, to living, for living and continuing to live and not to die, right? To continue to live is called life. So that is the reason continuing means. How will the life continue? Very simple, with children, right? And children after and children, and it continues us, right? Clear till here? Now we'll see the next line. They come through you, but not from you. The very next line, what the spiritual teacher is saying to that mother is, they come through you, not from you. Understand this line. This is so beautiful. That means biologically they come through you. Children come through you because parents act as a means to bring children to this world, right? But not from you means, understand, because God is the originator. So parents should not believe that they are the whole and soul of creating children. They are sent by God to fulfill the dream of life. And what is the dream of life? That is living and continuing to live. Clear? Now the next line. And though they are with you, yet they belong not to you. Now who they are here? And though they means children. And though children are with you, they are staying with you, right? The spiritual teacher is saying to the mother that children, they stay with you, and yet they belong not to you. Yet the children belong not to you. That means parents act just like a manager to manage the children, because the children are the gift from the God, and the children belong to tomorrow, and tomorrow means life. Clear? Now the next line. You may give them your love, but not your thoughts. Understand this. It is also, this line is also very good. You may give them means you may give children your love. Very simple. It's very simple, means the parents' first rights and responsibility is to give the children the love and care. Correct? But not to put the thoughts. Why? Because parents, what they have learned is kind of old, and with their thoughts may not be always helpful for tomorrow. Children need to learn things by their own, right? They will have their own ideas. They should learn by their own. They should be not depending on any other thoughts because they will have their own idea. That is what given here in the next line. For they have their own thoughts means children will have their own ideas by self learning and experience, and children should be independent. Clear? Now the next line. You may house their bodies but not their souls. Very clear. Means what spiritual teacher is saying means parents can say that children belong to them, and this can be agreed, but soul, understand, the soul in the bodies of children are not really of parents because the soul belong to children, correct? They will have their own dreams to achieve. The next lines say it clearly. For their souls dwell in the house of tomorrow, which you cannot visit, not even in your dreams. Very well said. Understand? For their souls means for children's souls. Dwell means stay. Where it will stay? The children's souls will stay in the house of tomorrow. And what is there in the house of tomorrow? The dreams and ambitions of the children. So here this is the place where the parents cannot visit, not even in their dreams. This is what the spiritual teacher is trying to say to the mother, not to be worried. Okay, clear? Now, the next two lines are related. Listen to this. You may strive to be like them, but seek not to make them like you. For life goes not backward, not tarries with yesterday. Very well said. The spiritual teacher is explaining the mother and all the parents to understand this. What is it? You may strive to be like them. You may strive means you can try. Parents, you can try to be like them. Means children. They can try to be like the children and know new things which is related to tomorrow. But seek not to make them like you. But don't force. Seek means to make them to understand that what we have learnt as parents is very important. This should not go in the head of children because children must know new things first, preferably. So, the spiritual teacher is saying not to force to make them means make the children like parents. Why? Very simple. For life goes not backward. Life will not go backward, right? It will always go tomorrow and so on, correct? So life will not go backwards nor tarries means it will not stop with yesterday. Life will, whether life you have seen it is stopped yesterday, right? No, no, it will always be continuing. It is always related to yesterday, correct? It is always related to yesterday, and yesterday means it is, sorry, sorry, it is always related to tomorrow, not yesterday. Okay, so tomorrow means always life. Now, the remaining lines of this poem, the remaining lines, the spiritual teacher will make the parents to understand the role to bring up their children. How? By facing whatever comes in life. Challenge. You have to take challenge and face. So we'll see what the spiritual is saying to the parents and the mother who is carrying the baby. Okay? Now, you are the bows from which your children as living arrows are sent forth. Very well said. Now, you means parents are the bows and arrows. We know, right? The old people who used to live in forest, they used to use weapon, bow and arrow, right? So the poet Kahlil Gibran is using this bows and arrows to make understand the parents, the relation between God, parent and children. Okay, now you are the bows means parents are the bows from which your children as living arrows are sent forth. Sent forth means to tomorrow, means to live, right? Now, the next line. The archer sees the mark upon the path of infinity, and he bends you with his might, that his arrows may go swift and far. Very simple. Here, the archer means the God. Okay, what God will do? He will mark upon the path of infinity means he'll set the target of arrow. Arrow means children, right? God will set the destination for the children, and he means God bends you. God will give problems to the parents so that they can face the problems. Whatever God will do is to test the parents' power to face the problems, and his arrows may go swift and far means how much the parents will face the problems and become strong, the children can reach up to their target swift and far means as quickly as possible, as successfully as possible. This is what the spiritual teacher is trying to say. Never be afraid, face the problem for the parents. Okay, now he's also saying that let your bending in the archer's hand be for gladness. Very simple. See, whatever the god will give the problem, whatever the archer means the god, we all know, right? Now bending means facing the problems. So whatever god will give the problem, the parents has to face the problems, and they have to face with gladness means happiness, because at last what is going to happen, the children will meet their destination. Correct? Now, the last line. For even as he loves the arrow that flies, so he loves also the bows with that is stable. Very well said. Now, the Kahlil Gibran, what he is trying to say is, see, God loves both parents and children. Parents were also one time children, right? So that is what he is saying. Parents and children both are loved by God. For even he means God loves the arrows that flies means God loves children that get successful. The children who get successful, he loves, and he loves also the bows that is stable means he also love the parents that who will face the problems without fear. Clear? Correct, right? Now I'll say you one more thing, right? So we had the first line, your children are not your children. We were confused with this line, right? And when we started to learn line by line, we came to understand the complete poem, right? Now see this line. Kahlil Gibran is a Lebanese American artist and poet. Now his poems, Kahlil Gibran's poems are considered poetic essays. Means they are poems, but it is like essays, meaningful, and as they do not adhere to the usual versification. Now this is what I'm trying to explain you. Now they means poems. Poems do not match, adhere means match the usual versification, lines or words used in poem. So at starting we did not match, we did not connect to the poem, right? That is the style of writing of Kahlil Gibran. But it was very meaningful, right? This poem on children, correct? So if you guys have any doubts regarding this unit, you can ask it in the comment section. And if you like my video, please hit the like button, share this video with your friends, and please subscribe to my channel. Meet you guys in my next video.